Fantastic spot here from our Danish player, and Dogbone is a sitting duck right now.
I think he's still, if he had backstab plus Vile Spine, I think he still might die. Because there'd still just be, no, he actually just stay alive. He had backstab Vile Spine. He could kill the Direwolf Alpha, kill another one of the minions. That would leave him facing down just the like 5 damage next turn. But yeah, in this instance, he does not have either of those cards, and I don't think Dogbone's going to find a way out of this.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything. You know, the Elemental can help search for minions, but he doesn't have enough mana for anything else. And no defensive cards. Dogbone nodding his head already, kind of recognizing that I think there's no way out of this game, and it looks like we're going to go to Game 5, Kibler.
Yep. Digging deep, but no way for our amateur player made it to the World Championship to finish this off now. It will go to a Game 5.
It all comes down to whether or not this Temple Rogue from Dogbone can defeat the Highlander Priest, and that is, in many people's opinion, the strongest deck in Hearthstone, as Hoy's family and friends look on with glee. A big shout out also to the family for being able to come out. Multiple people actually showed up, or multiple players actually have their family show up for the event.
And especially making it out, you know, as you mentioned, this early today in the storm that we have going on outside too. Yeah. It may be warm by the hearth inside here, but it is quite the storm outside, just the building.
It was raining a lot this morning, at least last time we checked. Definitely winter is in the air here in Europe. Dogbone, again, you know, the Temple Rogue is supposed to be a really powerful deck. How can it actually beat the Highlander Priest? We were talking about the Cobalt Scalebane potentially being one of those MVP cards.
Yeah, the version that Dogbone is playing does have a lot of good tools against control decks. He has the Scalebane, which can be very difficult for the Priest to deal with if they don't have very specific draws. He also has a copy of the Lich King, which can give him more power in long games. And that, you know, can give him the ability to fight back against the Priest. And of course, there is a lot of just a lot of variance depending on what the Priest actually draws. You know, it is a singleton deck, so does not find the right tools at the right time, it can be problematic.
All right, so Dogbone is on the coin this game, which gives him a lot more powerful uses of cards like the Vile Spine Slayer that he has in hand. But you know, Priest isn't exactly very minion-oriented. They care about the state of the board and controlling it, and then being able to kill Rogue and just remove everything. There is the possibility of Priest just playing a defensive fatigue style. And this is an important card that Dogbone just drew. Prince Keleseth comes into the hand here.
Yeah, Keleseth is the single most powerful card in the early game for the Rogue deck to draw. Really powers up everything else in your deck. Specifically, the Keleseth into a pirate pulling a buffed Patches is exceptionally powerful.
I mean, it makes the 5 health minions out of range of Dragonfire Potion. Portal Creeper and Bone Mare now will be out of that range if Hoy needs to.
And Hoy, he has just kind of a hodgepodge of his powerful combo cards for later on. Obviously, having Prophet Velen plus Mind Blast is great when you're trying to finish your opponent off. It's much less effective when you're trying to keep yourself alive to get to that point.
Yeah, Prince Keleseth, one of the most powerful cards, if not the most powerful card off of your mulligans in Hearthstone. It's an absurd win rate when you're able to have it in your opening hand. But it's not infallible. Would you remove this Keleseth here? I guess that's the question for Hoy. Would you bother with a Holy Smite to just remove this 2/2?
Your Holy Smite is going to be dropping in power, especially against the buffed minions from Keleseth. There's not that much it will kill. There was no Shadow Step immediately on the Keleseth, so you at least know that there isn't one in the hand. But still, just getting the 2/2 off the board is worthwhile in order to just prevent the incoming damage and keep yourself alive, give yourself more time.
So the South Sea Captain was something that we were looking at. It brings out 2 3/3s. This Patches is now quite the force to be reckoned with. But Hoy does have Shadow Word Painting as Priest of the Feast, 2 methods that can contest the board. What starts getting really scary is if you play Priest of the Feast, get a little greedy, and then you get wrecked by the Vile Spine Slayer coming out on the following turn.
I expect that we will see the Shadow Word Pain on the Captain here from Hoy. It stems the bleeding quite a bit, takes off 4 power effectively because it does reduce the Patches down to a 2/2. also allows Hoy to play Priest of the Feast plus Power Word Shield next turn to gain back some life and get a card deeper into his deck as well.
Oh man, Elven Minstrel, a card that comes from Kobolds and Catacombs, very powerful just from its combo effect, but even more so when you have Keleseth because it gets those buffs immediately into your hand. One of the drawbacks of Keleseth is that if you don't actually draw substantial minions, you could just fizzle out. But Elven Minstrel really makes sure that doesn't happen.
And Dakpon really hoping to find a 1-cost minion here, and he does. Though he doesn't have his dagger up, so the deckhand won't be immediately able to attack, but can allow him to just keep the pressure on with another 3-power minion on the board.
It's true, and with things like Bone Mare and Vilespine Slayer, there is a lot of value in holding on to the South Sea Captain for future combos.
Right.
So I'm not in a rush to play the South Sea Captain right off the bat here.
Yeah, I think the deckhand will probably stay in Dakpon's hand, and it does. Potion of Madness.
That's interesting. That's actually a pretty powerful card later on because Patches and South Sea deckhand end up killing each other there. And Hoy now has an opportunity to finally draw a card. One of the big things about Highlander Priest is early game, you want to be cycling through your deck, get those really powerful removals, get those really powerful combo-winning cards like Raza and Shadow Reaper Anduin.
Job's done.
3 health heal is also nothing to laugh at.
Finds a Pyromancer, which is another powerful card to really help him clear off smaller boards, though does drop significantly in power against an opponent who has Keleseth.
Vilespine or not Vilespine here? It's pretty appetizing. Priest of the Feast is one of the more problematic cards because if you don't address it, it's going to undo all the damage that you can deal, and artificially give Priest so much more sustain in this game.
Yeah, and Dakpon recognizes that. Slayer comes down along with Backstab for the combo, takes out the Priest of the Feast. Now Hoy.
Oh my goodness.
Acolyte of Pain. This does set up the possibility of Acolyte, Pyromancer, Potion of Madness, which can clear off the Minstrel and Patches and draw Hoy a card. So as you mentioned, one of the key things for the Priest deck, if you don't have those key tools like Raza and Anduin in your opening hand, so many of the cards in the deck do draw cards to accelerate you through to find your combination, as well as, of course, to just keep getting triggers later on. Not gonna play. Oh, he is gonna play the Acolyte. Okay. I saw the targeting arrow, and I'm like, before the Acolyte was in play, I was like, that's confusing. But yeah, we see the Acolyte picks up a card here, finds Silence.
You can cycle it to draw another card off his Acolyte, but chooses to hold on to instead. Now, Dakpon does have cheap Quarter Creepers, but the one that he kept is still a 5/5 versus the one that he drew is a 6/6. Pretty substantial difference in whether or not he wants to be able to survive big AoEs or whether or not his opponent, he's even afraid of massive AoEs like Psychic Scream.
Here, Dakpon does have the Vilespine plus Dagger. He can actually kill both these minions on the other side of the board with Vilespine Dagger and then just drop both Creepers if he wanted to. That wouldn't actually leave him super vulnerable to a Dragonfire Potion because of that Keleseth buff in the second one.
Right.
So he'd still have one minion that would be able to survive, and that would potentially leave a minion for the Bone Mare next turn.
The countdown is ticking on those mana costs from Quarter Creeper. I feel like it's like a bomb, you know, with detonations. When it hits 0, you know that you're in trouble. I guess if you're Dakpon, you know that things are cooking. Just wants to play
just the one.
One Quarter Creeper.
Okay. Is he not killing the Acolyte?
I think what's in his mind is the Psychic Scream.
Sure.
Not really necessarily considering the Dragonfire Potion nearly as much.
I mean, this does leave Hoy in a position where he can attack into the 6/6 and then Dragonfire Potion, clearing the board. Dakpon would have the ability to play Creeper into Bone Mare if he wants, but that's really scary into your opponent's 8-mana turn.
Exactly. The Bone Mare sets up a really tough dynamic for the Rogue player in this matchup, because if you don't Bone Mare, you give Priest a lot of time to stall, but if you do, you play directly oftentimes into Shadow Reaper Anduin to destroy every single minion that has 5 attack or more, which Bone Mare can't avoid, unless there's a 0 attack minion on board, which is rarely the case.
finds Bloodmage Thalnos, which
Huh.
interestingly can pair with the Dragonfire later turns to blow up slightly bigger things, but gonna go ahead and pull the trigger right now.
But this is kind of what Doc Pone was hedging against. Whether or not he goes for this Bone Mare is going to depend on if he feels like he has enough time. Looks like he's just aiming for the Quarter Creeper. I don't blame him. I mean, at the same time, I think you usually have to go for the Bone Mare play, because if they don't, and a lot of times the way Hoy's playing indicates he doesn't have Shadow Reaper Anduin, you can just win right there.
I think that he has enough threat he can play that doesn't die to Anduin that he can spread things out. He can play the Flame Elemental and or deck hand here to leave him with a board that isn't super vulnerable to an Anduin. And still, if an Anduin did come down, you still have the Bone Mare to set things up on one of your other minions.
It's true. He is giving up a lot of his cheap cards, though, so if it gets cleared and he doesn't have a Bone Mare target, I guess he at least has the Lich King, so he's okay with that as well.
Well, seeing the Dragonfire Potion, there's only really a Psychic Scream that can clear this off at this point, or Akanai Circle that can clear off this board right now.
It's true.
And you're gonna go with the Leroy right now. Leroy's actually pretty powerful here, especially with the buff, because the smaller minions, the whelps, won't actually be able to clear it off. Yeah,
going for it. That's really cool. Shutting down both of those whelps to deny AoE.
And now Hoy really needs some help here. He really have to find Psychic Scream, Binding Heal. Velen plus Binding Heal can get him a bit of life here, but he's just got a smattering again of those combo cards. You know, there's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So even Velen Binding Heal put him just barely out of lethal range. Neither Raza nor Anduin available for Hoy this entire game. Did find Dragonfire Potion to help clear things up, but is really struggling to deal with the second push after the first AoE.
Yeah, and the extra damage from Keleseth really stacking the pressure up against Hoy.
Quickly.
Does he stay alive if he plays goes for a Tark Reaper play instead?
If he just plays Tark Reaper, he's going to die, because
So he has the Binding Heal as well?
I think he made, yeah. So this puts him to 18. There's 10, 11, I think 15 that Doc Pone can push through with the Bone Mare after the Tark Reaper.
It's like 16, yeah, 15, he can't really dagger as well, so puts Hoy to 3 life, but at the same time, you have to think, even if he survives, what's his out there? It's just purely Shadow Reaper Anduin or Psychic Scream. Does that even keep him that safe, because he's at 3 health? Doc Pone talking to himself, mouthing all the possibilities, thinking about, okay, if he has Shadow Reaper Anduin, what's my out here? Am I gonna play around that possibility? Do I just go for a little bit lighter pressure onto the board?
If he doesn't Bone Mare and doesn't play Lich King, then Velen plus Spirit Lash could be problematic.
Yeah.
It looks like Bone Mare is going to come down.
Choose soon.
And by putting it on the Leroy here, he spreads out such that an Anduin will not end up clearing off most of his board. He'll still be left with 2 minions.
Choosing to kill a Thanos or not, he does. Akanai Soul Priest not going to do it. Loot Horror's not enough either.
Boy's going to look at this hand, but there is no way to deal with this board from Doc Pone.
It doesn't look like it. He can draw with the Loot Hoarder. He could draw against the Loot Hoarder, but I think Circle of Healing is not going to.
Yeah, Circle's not going to be enough. He can play Soul Priest plus Loot Hoarder, ping it, find Circle, but that's not going to clear off the Leroy. He could silence the Leroy, but then he doesn't have a ping to kill the Bone Mare, which will still kill him. Trying to find something here.
Consider.
The last few seconds here of this game could be upon us. Hoy's gonna dig and go for the Hail Mary, hero powering his own Loot Hoarder. But I don't think there's a way. Spirit Lash is too late. Doc Pone has upset our spring champion, and we'll move on to the winner's bracket match.
He was the underdog coming in, but as he said, still has to beat me, and didn't work out. Worked out for the Canadian amateur player.
Several players in the top 16 when we were talking to them talked about how Doc Pone, you can't sleep on him, even if you don't think his skills are up to par. His deck list and his lineup is fantastic, as he will defeat Hoy and face the winner of Orange versus Tom. What a fiery way to start off.
I mean,
ACT Amsterdam here.
He is a player who was underestimated up to this point, and he's still continuing that run from the Bahamas.
DJ is waiting with Doc Pone for a couple words on his victory.
Thanks very much, guys. I'm joined by Doc Pone. Many consider you an underdog, and you even said yourself that you feel like an underdog, but you just took out one of the favorites in your very first match. How does it feel?
Feels amazing. I didn't think that matchup was really favorable for me, that old lineup, so I felt pretty good winning this 3-2.
So it's been a while since you've been on a big stage, all the way back in winter at the Bahamas. Does it feel any different? Do you feel less pressure, more pressure since it's been so long?
To be honest, it kind of feels the same. It's just a stage to stage, right? So it's always pressure.
And I went a whole interview without asking about your age. Are you proud of me?
Oh, you almost did it, TJ. Almost. You almost not mentioned my age. That would have been pretty nice of you, but yeah.
All right, man. Well, congratulations and good luck in your matches later. Let's send it back over to the desk.
Congratulations to Doc Pone. He's not even that old. Everyone like makes a meme out of it, but he's like Sotto's age. He's like 32.
He's like 6 years younger than me.
I know, at this point, we're not really sure what's going to happen, but that's kind of what makes it exciting. Great first match at kickoff here for the Hearthstone Championship Tour Worlds in 2017. Coming up next, we have Orange versus Tom 60229 as Doc Pone grabs the first victory, 3-2 over Hoy.
Coming up next, Orange versus Tom 60229.
See you, man.
Ah!
Oh, there it is.
Oh, great. Anywho, why don't you just vanquish your foe?
I can't just kill my boss, Gul'dan.
They can if you do it righteously.
Uther, there are no righteous kills. I've told you this.
Ah, not with that attitude there isn't. Just hear me out.
You should really take a yoga class.
You
Uther.
should take a...
Anyone gonna call shotgun?
Shotgun? What form of forbidden ritual is this?
Is it some sort of dark bargain?
Shotgun. Whoever says it first gets to sit in the front seat.
This shotgun is evil, yes? I shall bend it to my will.
You don't bend it, you just say it.
So it's a spell!
No, you literally just say the word shotgun, and whoever says that first gets to sit in the front.
But what must we give in return?
Everything.
Nope, nothing. 100% risk-free, you just say it, you get a free ride to Pizza Palace, which I'm pretty sure closes in like 6 hours, so...
I don't understand. Why use a spell if you get nothing?
I just don't trust this.
Shotgun. Oh, thank you. Get in the car.
Did you just see that?
Okay, where you guys want to eat?
How about Solvafay?
Again, that is not a real place. You just want to murder people. We had pizza yesterday, so pizza?
What about sushi?
Shotgun!
Uther gets it. Welcome back to the Hearthstone World Championship! Join us by the fire, along with our worthy hosts, Raven and Subtle.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hearthstone World Championship here in Amsterdam. I'm of course joined by Subtle and we are ready to go with our next match. It's going to be Tom60229 versus Orange. I was just about to say, this is going to be an amazing match, two amazing players. We can say that about every single match we've got coming up. Doesn't work.
Really narrow it down, does it? No.
We have some really good players at this tournament, believe it or not.
In particular, though, I love Orange's route to get here. Like, just his first HCT performance was just straight through prelims, 1 and in. He's an incredible player, hasn't had HCT success up until this point, but to do it all on the first run would be phenomenal.
Yeah, and without further ado, let's kick things off. So, first up, we have one of the best players in the Asia-Pacific region. It's Tom60229. And next up, making his first HCT performance, quite the success already. Give it up for Orange.
Orange versus Tom60229.
Tom has been there racking up tournament win after tournament win and just really has never stopped performing.
Orange is very consistent. He is a player who rarely makes any mistakes.
Not talked as much with him because we're from different regions, but definitely a real threat.
Orange versus Tom60229. Ready, set, go!
All the players here have a huge amount of respect for each other, and rightly so, but what's going to happen in the match? We can talk about deck lists. We've talked about lineups quite a lot already today, as they are so important to any given tournament. We can see the decks that everyone has brought here. Orange bringing the Hunter, I think, is the real standout point for him in this tournament.
It is, yeah. I mean, a few people have brought a unique 4th deck. Admirable was talking about this in the intro. For Orange, it's Hunter. And the stats that we have been provided by HS Replay show that Hunter is pretty weak in this series. Only has that one favorable matchup working for it. But Orange feels comfortable with it. And speaking of comfort, I asked